Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. We are really appreciative to have an opportunity to speak yet again to in the VC conferences, this time VC EuropeX. We were honored to have a place in the VC Latinx convention conference last spring. So our theme, first of all, we are Theodora Africa, which is a nonprofit which uses the power of outsourced business to create social change. And our first social change business is Theodora Ghana Virtual Assistants. And I have three of my colleagues who are original participants here. We have Justina Ansah, who heads our video and our data entry and is taking on new and additional responsibilities as well. We have Gifty Amwako, who is our operations manager, and we have Mary Fiadese, who is our business development manager. They were all on the conference talk in the spring. So we were asked by the conference leaders to, hey, give us an update on what's been happening since the last time we talked to you. Well, a lot has happened. We are going through a surge in business growth. We're adding a lot of new clients. We are about 60 to 70% of the way to break even, meaning that these ladies' work will be covering all of the expenses associated with their salaries and overhead, et cetera. There are very few social impact organizations who can claim that claim. We've only been in business for 3 years since we've done that. And there's also been a real surge in the, you know, in I'm going to say our capability and our growth. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time talking about that. So our basic premise, and we're going to talk about this at the beginning, and we're going to come back to this at the end, is that if you really want to see change happen, there needs to be this linkage between jobs, a real job activity and work, and the learning that you're doing. That if you just have the learning by itself, you're not going to get the kind of social change you want. So we're going to talk, first of all, to the women about it's not been the easiest ride to go from a very stable state where you really didn't have to work that hard to now a situation where every single month you're adding new clients and adding new clients. So, Gifty, why don't you start off and talk to us a little bit about how it's been just, dealing with this kind of change in business environment?
Yeah, there have been a lot going on, both including learning new softwares, new businesses, and also tasks to get done. So this help us to do more of research to be able to help our clients. And sometimes even we recommend some of the softwares that we are using for our clients to use because it helps us also.
So, Justina, talk to me a little bit about how this feels personally, because I don't think people in the United States, Canada, UK, the EU understand how the difficulties of daily life of working in a place like Ghana, okay, and that when you add this kind of workload on top of it, what that means in terms of dealing with stuff. I'm trying to get people to understand how you've overcome the challenge, you know, that's associated with this kind of growth.
Thank you, Michael. Well, it hasn't been easy because aside coming in and dealing with challenges like trying to get things done, you have to experience a lot of stress outside, coming up to another stress. In Ghana, getting around is very difficult. The traffic, the noise, heat, the sun, it burns. And with all this going around, and your mind is that I have to get to work, I have this to do, I have that to do, it's sometimes overwhelming. But the fact that you have to come in and get something done makes it different. Like it makes a difference in the whole situation because coming in and you are having work to do, and the moment you are done, sometimes you can just say, yes, I've got it done without even realizing because it's overwhelming, but at the same time exciting.
So, Mary, your thoughts? I mean, as business development, there's a lot of pressure on you, right, to keep bringing in more sales, et cetera. How are you dealing with the stress and et cetera as you watch this whole thing unfold?
Right. I would say that personally, as Justina said, it's overwhelming, but the team has really grown a lot. There so much responsibilities that each person has taken on, because as the business development, I'm bringing in clients almost every month. And this period, all the clients that are coming with a different task altogether, something quite different from what we are used to in the past. And so this pushes the VAs to have to learn more and give in more of their time, because in the beginning, it takes a lot of learning before you get into the rhythm of doing the work. So I would say that having a team like this behind me, it's going well. Even when it gets stressful or when it gets overwhelming, you know that you are not doing it alone. You have people behind you that you can even offload some of your tasks to them to assist you. So working within the team is going well, and we are really growing.
So great. That's gives everybody, I think, a really good insight as to, how you're dealing with things on a personal level. Let's talk about some of the growth of your capabilities, because that's what kind of motivated me when we started this conversation. So I'm going to do something that's a little bit embarrassing on my part. So I recently, Mary put out a proposal to a client, and I'm just going to show that very quickly on here. All right. So this was a proposal to do some LinkedIn optimization. All right. And so I was going through this proposal. This was just like a couple of weeks ago. And, profile optimization. And, I'm literally doing like, we do that. Content strategy. And I'm saying like, we curate quality. We do curate. I didn't think we wrote any content. Content calendar, audio. I mean, we just went through this whole thing. And, it's like, I was sitting down and saying, like, when did this happen? Now, this probably does not reflect very well on me as a CEO, but I will use the excuse that I am like in New Mexico, USA, and they're in Ghana. So I'm not like there every single day on top of things. So I want you ladies to talk to me a little bit about how this came about. Like, how do you go from literally last spring not knowing anything about any of this, right? When we did VC Latinx, to now being able to put this out, and I will let the people who are listening know, I've shown this to some of people who are like our original donors, investors, and they were like, what? What? Everybody, we all have the same reaction. Like, how did they go from a level that was very basic to a level where a number of significant business people all say, like, I don't know that. How do you do that? So who'd like to jump on that one to begin with? Don't all start at once.
I'll go first. As Mary said, we've been having new clients lately, and the expectation is way different from what we've been doing. So, what I would say is that the learning has changed. The expectation of what we had before has also changed, because now we are dealing with a whole different people. Their demands are different. I'll say the growth and the determination to make sure that the client is satisfied has been keeping us going, because months away from all this, we didn't even know what we are up to or the challenge in the future. And now we are dealing with a whole different things. And I would say this, to me personally, this has been a great impact, though it has been up and downs, like the stress have been there trying to figure out things. Yeah, but with me, it has really been helpful, because the whole satisfaction on how the client feel about what I've done makes me happy, and that happiness pushes me to learn more.
So Gifty, go into a little more detail as to how we actually do the learning. This is very interesting to me as somebody who's managing a social impact project, because I can remember a year and a half ago trying to get people to learn things on their own was almost impossible. I mean, like we had to put you in a very structured environment. We had to give you deadlines. We had to tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? It was a very disciplined approach. Now I wake up and you're showing me, oh, well, we've got like 18 new capabilities that we did over the last 2 months. And nobody even talked to you about this. So that's a huge shift in terms of behavior pattern. And I'm kind of interested, I guess we'll break this into two pieces, right? I want you to talk to me a little bit about how you actually learn something, somebody gives you something. And then Mary, maybe you can then pick up the piece, which is like, how did we change? Why are we a different person now than we were, that we now will push ourselves to learn rather than having to be pushed to learn? So let's start with you, Gifty.
So like my colleague Justina said, client satisfactions push you to learn more and also ready to learn new things. So in this case, there are some softwares that we use to work that they have tutorials there, how to learn their software from the beginnings. And also we have YouTube that you can go there to learn anything that you need to learn to help a client. Aside that, we have AIs that we have to plug in what we are trying to learn for us to get the information that we need to use to learn as well.
Okay. So, Mary, what do you think has caused the change in attitude where now suddenly just this motivation to work with clients, that you're willing to learn and work on your own?
Right. So I would say that generally we all have grown, and you see that the company itself is growing. So when tasks are coming and you are given tasks and you don't do it, then you will be left out. So that is what is motivating everybody to show what they are capable of. Because as my colleagues already said, this task that we do for these clients gives them joy, like it helps them grow their business. So the reviews and the compliments we are getting, it's really give us that energy, that confidence that, oh, if you can do this to put a smile on somebody's face, then how about if you are doing extra? So with all these different tasks coming on board, which are quite new to us, most of these tasks are some things that we've not done before, and we see that these are going to give the client value, so we have to put in the work. And that is what has driven us to this point, because in the beginning, even though we were doing work, we didn't have this kind of difficulties and this kind of high level tasks that needs to be done, because fine, we were still learners, we were still beginners, but now we see that no, we are no more those ladies. We have grown, we are growing, and there is more to us. We are going to bring on board new women. So if we are not having some knowledge that we're going to impact in them, then what are we doing here for over these years? And these are some of the things that I believe is motivating people to learn more and do more.
Great. So, Gifty, talk to us a little bit more about AI specifically and what tools you're using, because there is a feeling inside, let's say, the United States where I live and work, that AI is going to eliminate, assistance, right? That people are going to be able to do things with AI. That's not exactly been your experience working with people, correct?
Yes, so let me start with newsletters. There are some clients that comes in, we need like maybe 10 contents that it will take them like a month for them to get us 10 contents. Sometimes we have to be chasing them around to get the content. And for us, we were not good in creating content. But since we found AI, or AI came into existence, as soon as we put in the keywords, AI generates content for us to start working on. So at the end of the day, we can use like a month to get that 10 content done instead of using more than a month to get that content. And aside that, they have different types of AI that can be used. Some are for writing emails, some are for doing process documentation. Actually, process documentation takes me months to get done. But in this case, I can use 24 hours to get process documentation done with the help of AI. If I put in the process and the steps that the meeting has come out, I just plug in and it generates it for me to get it done. So I would
But
say AI.
Justina, let's say like AI, you just don't like plug and play, right? You've got to learn how to use it. I mean, it's like any other kind of a tool.
Well, I don't really create content like Gifty, but I have this particular AI called Best Hashtag. It has really been helpful because you don't have to stress about how to grow your social media. It just helps you grow it by itself. Because with best hashtag, you just need a keyword that you feel that this is the keyword I want to push out there. Let's say, for example, pizza. When I put pizza and I search for pizza, it gives me a lot of hashtags I could use to push my pizza brand to people who are interested in pizza. So I'll say the best hashtag has really been helpful, and it has really helped me to grow my clients' social media accounts.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel that all this, so you've been on a really steep growth curve in terms of your personal capabilities. I mean, I see that, we see that in what the client says, we see what the client say about this. How has that made you feel about yourself? Gifty?
To me, it gives me self-confidence, like working with the client. Sometimes there's issues comes out that I have to talk before, even if the client gives me like a wrong information, I still take it because I do not know what I was doing. But in this case, I have get the knowledge of whatever I'm doing. So anytime I'm talking, I have confidence that I know this is the right way to go that will help your company and whatever we are doing. So at the end of the day, I gain self-confidence.
You know, would you say the same thing, Mary?
Um, yes, I would. And I will add a little bit to the AI subject. So for me personally, I use the AI a lot for writing proposals and so many other things. What I would tell people who have negative mindset towards AI is that it's a very helpful tool, and if you know the plugins or the instructions to give it, it's going to make your work way easier than before. So all you have to do is to learn or practice, know what you are instructing the AI to do, and it's going to give out what you are expecting. So AI is not here to take away our job, or it's not here to let us stay home without getting a job, but rather help us to do more in a very short time, which is going to help our job and our businesses grow. So with that, I would say that I have really learned a lot because nobody taught me how to use all this AI and all this stuff. 3 years ago, I wouldn't be doing or saying all this, but today I know that I'm very confident in what I'm doing because I know what I'm doing, and I'm proud that I've come this far, because if somebody told me that I will be here in this short period of time, I wouldn't believe it. So I have really grown, and I believe that all of my team members have also grown as well.
So Justina, how do you feel that clients are now perceiving us now that you have all these additional capabilities?
Well, I don't know, but I feel like
Mhm.
they're happy because the most important thing to them is achieving their goal. That is getting leads and making sales. And if I can be of help to them, I feel they'll be happy because honestly, the change is new to us because last year we won't say we'll be here at this point. Last year, we won't say we'll be here at this point because what we knew last year, that's not what we are doing this year. It keeps on changing. So if learning and growing is going to help them, why not? I believe what we want to achieve is the growth, the happiness, the reviews. We want them to tell other people, to tell other people, to tell other people how Theodora is being helpful to them.
So I want to put this in some context, you know, just we talked about what our overall project is. Of course, the VC conferences relate to encouraging people to use learning and to improve their businesses, make their businesses better, et cetera. A lot of it's oriented for people around the world who already own businesses. But we, you know, are looking at not only owning a business, but how we are going to use that business to create social impact. So we're talking to these 3 people who've been with us for 3 years. We have 4 other people that have been with us, about a year and a half. So that's 7. We're talking about taking people who were literally unemployed, okay? They were living by their wits, okay? The term in Ghana, right, is on the streets, to make ends meet. And, in literally just 3 years, through this combination of having a definite business niche that we were aiming toward, along with training. And I think we got about 5 minutes left, the power of the group. You guys have alluded to this a number of times, okay? That the fact that you have a team. So if we were going to talk to people in various parts of Africa or Latin America, et cetera, and say, what was that differential of having a team and having somebody having your back? I mean, compared to what you, let's say, just trying to do this on your own, how do you feel about that, Gifty?
That feels great because now there are certain things that I was not able to do. But at the moment, there are lots that I've learned that sometimes I look up to myself and I feel like, wow, did I really do this? And especially when it comes from you, Michael, appreciating the work that I've done, I become overwhelmed and very grateful of whatever that I've done at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Justina?
Well, the reviews makes me happy. I feel not like super excited, like screaming and shouting, but I feel this kind of relief that I've impacted in someone's business or something, because I don't see myself by myself doing these things. But because of this client, I had to learn these things, and he or she appreciating that, Justina, I really appreciate this because it has done this to me. It really makes me happy. It gives me this big smile.
So Mary, why don't you finish off the last opinion on the subject here?
Right. So having a team behind you compared to when you were out there on the streets by yourself, it's a very good feeling right now, because you know that at the end of the day, whatever you have to do, you don't have to do it alone. Whatever it is that you are facing, you don't have to face it alone. When you are sad, you are depressed, whatever it is in your house, once you come to the office, you see a group of people that you see you are coming from the same environment with them. You know that you are not alone. You have people with you who are going through the same thing with you. So being among a team is a very great feeling, unlike being on your own, doing it all by yourself. So I would say that, Theodora, we are a team and we support each other. If you have too much work you have to do and you are overwhelmed, you know that there is somebody that you can outsource or get help from. So it's a very good feeling. Amazing.
Thank you, Mary. So let's finish up. Thank you very much for this opportunity to update you. You can see that what we talk about in terms of power, in terms of personal growth, we haven't had any opportunity to put like video testimonials from our clients, but you'd hear that people are really very happy with the kind of work that's being done, and they're doing important work. So people aren't just giving us donations. My business development manager said, if I don't put in a plug, that I am going to get like my pay cut. So even though we should probably be doing this in this kind of a conference, if perchance you have a need for a virtual back office, you can check us up online at theodoraafrica.com, and we would be love to have to talk to you. So this is it. We're a living proof of the power that if you combine a business model, an outsourcing business model, with an intense training capability, we can take people and we can turn them into the incredible professionals that you've heard talk to you today. So thanks a lot.